My name is Pablo Salas. I'm a cook from Mexico and also owner of the restaurant Amaranta. Amaranta is our restaurant because it's a family restaurant. So I'm going to start to explain it generally what mostly we do in Amaranta, okay? And after that, I'm going to present a pig trotters carpaccio with different vinegars that we made in home. This is a apple vinegar, this is a beet vinegar, and this is a pineapple vinegar. Okay, so I'm going to start to show you. Okay, that's Amaranta. That's the restaurant. Amaranta is located in Toluca, capital city of the state of Mexico. Okay, it's pretty close to Mexico City. We have like 8,792 feet above the sea. Like it's a really high place. We are pretty close, like I told you, to Mexico City. We have in Toluca the most famous, maybe the Nevado de Toluca. That's the cathedral, and in the back, that's the Nevado de Toluca. Then there are 125 counties in the state of Mexico, and we are more than 50 million. This is the state of Mexico. I'm going to explain you a little bit. These are the 125 counties, and this is Mexico City. So we surround Mexico City, and Toluca is right there. We also have some zonas geográficas. I don't know how you say that in English. Pyramids, archaeologic zones. The most important ethnic groups are Matlacincas, Mazahua, Nahua, Otomí, and Tláhuac. And these ethnic groups, they still like living there, nor in Toluca, like in the different counties. So some of my recipes, I took it from these guys. There is a lady in the market with blue corn. That's dry blue corn. And all these factors among nature, weather, season, national, local economy, tradition, religion, history, language, communication, internet, beliefs, love, dreams, all that influences Amaranta cuisine. And that's true. We put all that together to make it this type of cuisine. Because when I said that I was gonna do cocina mexiquense, that means from the state of Mexico, like a lot of people didn't believe it that it was a good gastronomy, you know? They say maybe, I don't know, we know gastronomy from Yucatan, from Veracruz, from, I don't know, from maybe right now Baja California, but from the state of Mexico, they say it's weird. But I started to do a lot of research, and I found a lot of things, a lot of herbs, a lot of mushrooms, a lot of things that we can do, a lot of things. There is a mushroom soup that it's a very traditional soup, just we change it a little bit with dehydrate the mushrooms in that presentation, and then we pour the soup at the end. In the state of Mexico, people eat almost everything: roots, stems, leaves, flowers, fruits, vegetables, insects, fishes, birds, animals, all kind of animals. So I try to do like a different cuisine. I don't like to cook any steaks. I always say like anybody can cook a steak. Maybe the term will change a little bit, but when you I work with a lot of different, like, how you say, offal? Yeah, with offal. And I try to make great dishes with that. You're gonna see it next. And from animals, people provide all they can, and this is reflected in Amaranta's cuisine, giving value to some parts not so common in other cultures. Okay? This is like the the belly of is that tripe? Yeah, that's tripe. As feet, tails, ears, skin, and trails. For us, all ingredients have the same gastronomic value. I want to be like really clear to this because sometimes the people say, how is the gastronomic value? It doesn't make like the same as economic value, okay? But I think like if you have a great quelite, quelite is a herb from the state of Mexico, and maybe you can have a great foie gras, right? But if you give the foie gras to the wrong people, it's gonna be a messy foie gras dish, right? If you give the guauzontles maybe or the quelite to the right people, he can make a great dish. So I'm not telling that foie gras is less than the. We can make like a real great plate with both ingredients. It doesn't need to be expensive. That's part of my thinking. Yeah. So here's some parts that I'm gonna show you. Bone marrow. We have a very traditional and popular soup that is called sopa de médula. Here's the final presentation. We have some caviars of chipotle and epasori on top. Then, as any ingredient to become food must be handled with respect. That was I was talking about, yeah. If like you don't have like the right use of the foie gras, maybe it can taste like pea. If you do the right work, it will taste like great, right? If you maybe overcook the herbs we use, maybe it won't be like the same flavor. We need to know each ingredient and give the best technique that we can do. These are sweetbreads, mollejas. We serve sweetbreads. That's the final presentation. We also we investigation, inspiration, irony to achieve a great dish. All right. That's carp roe. We don't have a lot of fishes in the state of Mexico. We don't have a sea, so we use the fishes from the sweet water. So this is carp roe. I don't like too much the carp, so when I started to do research, I found the carp roe, and when I tasted it, it was great. So I sell taquitos of carp roe. Here's the presentation. That's the taco, and this is one of my best-selling entries. Must take care of hygiene in nutrition, flavor, texture, odor, looks. I think it's very important. Like I told you, like in a steak, maybe you don't need to be like that careful. But when you work with offal, you need to be like really careful since you selected this is the best, clean. Then when you cook it, after you cook it, sometimes these type of ingredients need two dos cocciones, and it's kind of difficult for me to work. I think it's more difficult for me to work with this kind of ingredients than to work like steaks and I don't know other ingredients that we found everywhere. Colita de res, that's oxtail. Yeah, we have this dish. That's oxtail with a cactus salad, green beans, tomatoes, and on the bottom it has a mole de chile manzano. Chile manzano is a very popular chili in my state. Maybe the most that we use is fresh, but really spicy. We need to treat it to get out the spiciness. So that's the oxtail, giving quality and value. Tongue, this is another our dishes. We make it with encacahuatado. Right now we're serving it with sweet potato puree, smoked sweet potato puree. We have a lot of sweet potatoes in Mexico, like orange, white, yellow. So I'm using that right now. As we must be proud of what we are, embodied in what we eat and drink. Papada. This is this is pork jowl. Pork jowl? Yeah. I use it also. Yeah. I really love it. It's for me like one of my best dishes. This is from a Iberian pig that grows in Lerma, pretty close to Toluca. They are not selling like a lot, but they have a little farm because it's like a great place to grow because of the altitude. It's kind of cold. It rains all day, and that's the final presentation. It has a red pipián, so I use both techniques. I put it on the sous vide, the pork jowl. Depends of the thicker, but it depends maybe 2 until 4 hours. Uh, I use some masturation, chayotes, and some frijoles. I don't know the name in English. Beans. It's only culture, and culture is everything. I think so. So here's pork hands, or the pig trotter, how you call it. I'm gonna show you this. We're gonna make this carpaccio. So we put the pig trotters in a big pot with herbs, onions, garlic, salt, a little bit of salt, and peppers, whole peppers, and we boil it for around maybe 2 hours to 3 until the meat comes apart. Till the meat comes apart, and then we take off all the bones, and then we put it all together with a little bit of salt, oregano, and we just roll it. Okay, so we put it in a frozen for 12 hours, and it's ready to slice it. You can slice it with a knife, also with a slicer. All right, in the restaurant we make it with a slicer to make it like perfect. So here's the presentation. We have different pickled vegetables in there because that's the way we eat it. With manitas de puerco en escabeche, that's the real name. So I did the same dish. I just twisted a little bit, and instead of like maybe putting the carrots, the whole carrots or circles of carrots, we try to do a better cut. We have chayotes, and all these are in vinegars of pineapple and apple. And then I'm gonna use the beet for the presentation, the beet vinegar. Intercultural sensibility handles the fork with a big nice smile. All right, so I'm gonna start to show you how I do this. These are the big trotters already cut. You can make it thicker, you can make it thinner, however you want. So I'm gonna put it in here with, si quieres, yo creo que no, échale vinagre. We're gonna put some vinegar, olive oil, y del de manzana, oregano, dry oregano, and this you don't need to put anything because of the collagen. It pairs together. Thank you, gracias. So, do you have any questions? I'm gonna start like plating this. Yeah. And then we're gonna give you a little taste. We have it, they're gonna make it. So, to see if you really like it, or a little bit of salt. We put oregano, salt, the vinegars, and a little bit of olive oil, okay? Gonna mix it together. Then I think I'm going to start to plating. We serve this with this traditional blue corn tortilla. It's not tortilla, it's blue corn. We call it huarache, but also is huarache in a different, in Mexico City. It's different. It's like a quesadilla, which sometimes they put like meat on top. This in Toluca, there is a big tostada. I couldn't bring it like whole because I break it on the way. So they put beans, then they put a cactus salad with tomato, onion, cilantro, and then they put a little bit of chile d'arbol sauce. All right, so I'm going to start to plate this. So, do you have any questions? So this is just the pig thrower's meat, all right? So we put the pig throwers on the plate. Then we're gonna start to put the vegetables. I have here the chayotes. They're already pickled in these two vinegars because I don't want like to dye it, the get color, all right? So I put this. Then here I have some carrots. I'm gonna put it with my hand. A little bit more of carrots. Then we're gonna put the red cabbage. They usually use white cabbage, so we have different ingredients so we can make it different colors. So I use this red cabbage, and when you pickle it, it gets like more intensive, the color. I brought cheese from Michoacan. That is the one I think. This is queso cotija, denominación de origen from Michoacán. This is the real cotija because we can find a lot of cotijas in Mexico, but this is the good one, the real one. So I'm gonna put a little bit on top. It's a strong cheese, so I'm gonna give you a little taste also of the cheese. And finally I put a little bit of chilies. We use a lot of, or we eat a lot of chilies, pickled chilies, with all these ingredients. Then I'm gonna start to put a little bit of both vinegars, the pineapple and the apple vinegar. Then a little bit of salt. Here's my salt. And finally, I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil here. And a little bit of vinegar of beets. Alright. So this is the pictures carpaccio. I don't know where to put it. And this is like how we work in Amaranta. Like we try to give a little switch of the things, but respecting like the traditions and the costumes and the culture. With all respect, I just put some vinegars that maybe is the difference, vinegars that we made, but all comes like in the traditional plate. They have the pig trotters, the carrot, the cabbage, the chayote. They don't put it in pickle, but I really like to use it because I also like to use the things that people normally don't use. Okay, so I don't know if you have a question. Now they're gonna give you a little taste of the carpaccio in a tostadita they are preparing in the kitchen, and I don't know if you have a question or anything.
The only thing I want to say is, from all the chats and all what we've been seeing all day, I think, particularly because I know the cuisine from Toluca and the ingredients, I think what you are doing with all this, bringing all this passion, it's more than authentic cuisine. That is what a real chef has to do. So I want to thank you and congratulate you.
No,
I think that you're bringing your roots.
Yeah, those are my roots, and that's what I'm making in Amaranta. I'm not trying to change, and I'm really proud of that, because I think we have great ingredients. We just have to give them the value, right? And sometimes we don't do that. We say, oh, pig trotters, that's for poor people, and now that is almost one also of the best sellers of my entries. And yeah, people say to me sometimes like, I never taste like the pig trotters, but I tried it today and I really love it. And I think that's our job as a chef, like to if it doesn't look as good like this, like the picture, maybe to think a little bit, change it, and so the people can maybe give a chance to try it, and maybe they get a surprise. So let's wait for 2 minutes, and I think I'm gonna give you the taste of the tostada. Another question?
The blue corn tostada, you make it from dry corn or from fresh blue corn?
They no with fresh blue corn. Yeah, yeah. I don't make it. I won't lie. Yeah, I buy it to the people who make it. It's a really hard work to make it, and sometimes we don't appreciate that or give them the value. Right now, so there's the tostada of. So you try it. If you like it, tell me. If you don't like it, tell me. See? Thank you. Yeah, I love vinegars also. Yeah, the aguachile. You like it? Yeah, and that's another plate. I just serve a lunch, and I serve wild mushrooms aguachile. So, yeah, so I try to do these ingredients. I don't have fish, but I have a lot of mushrooms, and this works as well as a fish. So I did it that way, and it's working in Amaranth. So if you don't have, nice. Thank you very much. Thanks.
How do you make your aguachile?
How make the aguachile? The traditional way is to make agua. You blend it with chili. Depends the chili, and strain it and put some lemon on it. That's the traditional way. But I do it with tomatoes, raw tomatoes, a little bit of onion. Then I put some vinegar, lemon, salt, pepper, and that's it. Salt, pepper, the tomatoes, like a raw salsa cruda. We call it salsa cruda. Yo me basé en eso. I took it like inspiration, and just make it like really líquido. And that's it. But I use tomatoes, onions, onions, the vinegars, and a little bit of spinach. Did you see the color? It was like really, but when I mix it, when I blend it until the last time, so the spinach doesn't get black, oxidation.
What vinegar do you use for your fruit vinegars?
What
vinegar? Just a plain.
Yeah, to start them, yeah, white vinegar is the best. Yeah, white vinegar, water, and I add to this piloncillo. You don't know the piloncillo? Let me.
Yes, like
sugar.
Like the brown
Corn sugar.
Like molasses.
That packed sugar. We blended it with a little bit of the water and put in dirt, so it gets a little bit sweet. Yeah.
Black vinegar.
Oh.
It's really nice.
How you make it?
Similar with water and vinegar. heat it up, just not quite boiling.
Okay.
And then it's cool.
Oh. And then let it rest. Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
I've left me there.
So guys, if you don't have any questions, I think that's all for me today. Thank you very much.